These are three real horror stories. No ghosts, no legends, just real people who got dangerously close to something they didn't understand. And in one of these stories, one small decision is the only reason someone is still alive. I was 6 years old when this happened. My dad worked at a beachside bar that hosted biker nights every Friday, and for some reason, all the bikers loved me. They'd bring me candy, toys, treat me like family. There was one in particular, everyone called him Uncle Teddy. He was massive, around 6 feet 8, built like a wall. But with me, he was gentle. Every week he brought me a candy bar and a stuffed toy. That night I fell asleep in the back of the restaurant like I always did. And then I felt someone shake my shoulder. I opened my eyes and saw a man standing over me. He smiled. He told me his name, said he was a friend of my dad's, and that my dad asked him to take me home. And here's the terrifying part. He knew my name. He knew my dad's name, even my nickname. So I believed him. I got up, grabbed my toy, and followed him outside. He didn't have a motorcycle. He had an old sedan. And when I got in the back seat, I noticed something strange. The entire interior was covered in plastic. At the time, I didn't think much of it. Now, I know exactly what that means. He started driving, and just as we were pulling away, I looked out the window and saw Uncle Teddy walking out of the building. I smiled at him, and that saved my life. Because the second he saw me in that car, he knew something was wrong. He didn't hesitate. He jumped on his bike and chased us. The man driving started speeding, but Teddy was right behind us, close enough to see everything, close enough to identify him. And suddenly, the driver stopped the car. He turned to me calmly and said, "Get out." I didn't wait. I ran straight to Teddy. The man sped off and disappeared. But here's the part most people don't know. Years later, my dad told me the truth. That man had been watching me for weeks, learning my routine, waiting for the perfect moment. And after he failed, the bikers didn't just go home, they went looking for him, and according to my dad, they found him. Let's just say he never came back. Some people get lucky. They get seen at the right moment, saved at the last second, but not every situation ends like that. Sometimes, you walk into something you were never supposed to find, and by the time you realize it, it's already too late. When I was 19, I took a job working on a remote farm in Australia. And when I say remote, I mean 9 hours from the nearest city, 40 minutes from the nearest town, just endless land in every direction. One day after working in brutal heat, my boss offered to take me to a waterhole. We drove out across the property, and about 20 minutes in, he suddenly pointed into the distance. There was something out there, a bright blue structure, completely out of place. As we got closer, we realized it was a shipping container just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. No roads, no buildings, nothing. And that's when things got weird. There was a generator running behind it and cameras on every side, tracking us, watching us. I told him we should leave, that whatever this was, we weren't supposed to see it, but he didn't listen. We broke the lock and went inside. Cold air hit us immediately. The entire container was air-conditioned. Inside was a full office setup, computers, servers, hard drives everywhere. It looked organized, professional, but completely hidden. We started looking through the system, trying to understand what we'd found, but something felt wrong, really wrong. So I checked the storage boxes at the back, and the second I opened one, I froze. I can't even describe the feeling properly. It was filled with illegal material, horrific material, organized, cataloged, like whoever owned this had been doing it for a long time. I ran, dragged my boss out, and we drove back as fast as we could to call the police. But here's where it gets worse. By the time we returned with them, the container was on fire, burning from the inside. Almost everything was gone, which means whoever owned it was watching us the entire time, and the second we left, they erased everything and disappeared. To this day, no one knows who was running it, and the container still sits out there, empty, like it was never supposed to be found. That container was hidden for a reason. Whoever built it didn't want to be found, and they were watching. But sometimes, the danger isn't hidden. Sometimes, it's right in front of you, close enough to see, close enough to approach, and the only thing that saves you is the decision to walk away. When I was a teenager, my friend and I used to hang out in a cemetery at night. It sounds strange, but it was quiet, peaceful, until one night. We were sitting there talking when we noticed something at the top of the hill, a fire, a bonfire, about 100 feet away. We assumed it was just college kids messing around. But then, the smell hit us. It was horrible, rotten, sickening. Something that instantly made your stomach turn. We both just looked at each other and said, "Let's leave." But for a second, we hesitated. One of us even said, "Maybe we should go see what they're doing." And right then, I felt it, that gut feeling. Something was wrong, really wrong. At the exact same time, we both said, "No, we're leaving." We got in the car, turned on the headlights, and as we started backing up, I looked up at the hill and saw it, a figure, standing in front of the fire, completely still, watching us. And then it took a step forward. That's when I started yelling, "Go, go, go!" We sped out of there. Neither of us said a word the entire ride home. The next morning, I was sitting with my mom when she asked, "Did you hear what happened last night?" A woman had been kidnapped, and that morning, they found her body in that same cemetery, burned in a bonfire, and in that moment, everything clicked. That smell, that figure. We weren't watching a fire. We were watching a killer trying to destroy evidence. And if we had walked up that hill, if we had made a different choice, we probably wouldn't be here to talk about it. All because of one decision. If you made it this far, you now understand something most people ignore. Sometimes your instincts are the only thing keeping you alive. If a situation feels wrong, it probably is. And the people in these stories, they survived because they listened. If you want more real horror like this, subscribe. Because the next story might be worse.